Hello everyone, welcome to the Web3 Education Investment. So today is a special time. So it's my time. I'm going to make a presentation. So all of you will probably see me, and hopefully it's going well. I don't know, but if you can come and join the call, you are going to get the POAP NFT as a reward. So let's see how things going.
For you? No. Okay, just leave it. It's fine.
Yeah, I guess I'll just leave it for now. Sorry.
Yeah, the organizer probably can change that for you. The
Who can
host.
change it?
Oh, the host. No, I'm not the host. I cannot. You
I
can
would
change
have
it.
to-
I think you are the host. You can change it. But you are on the phone, so it might be more difficult.
Yeah.
It's okay. Let's not worry.
Okay. Yeah. Well, just keep it like that for now. Yeah.
You just need to introduce yourself.
Yeah.
People will not
Yeah,
see the name.
Yeah. Once I start recording, I'll make sure I'll do the introduction.
Yeah.
So is it really hot? Is it really hot in Spain? It's so hot in Italy. Oh my god.
It's yeah, it's pretty hot. Yeah, like it's in Mexico City. It's pretty temperate, you know. So like in Barcelona, I'm just walking around and you just start sweating after like 30 seconds.
Wow.
it's pretty intense. Yeah.
Will there be even hotter? Now it's just the beginning of summer, right? It's going to be
it's actually going to get a little hotter. I think in Madrid it's even worse because Madrid is inland. It's not by the sea, you know. So I think Madrid is actually even more hot. So.
Oh wow, yeah. Here is not very hot. Summer is the best time. Like most of the other time is raining.
Yeah, no, Seattle is always chilly.
Hi everyone joining. We're doing the general comparison of weather in the huge governance call. If anyone wants to comment on the weather where you are, please feel free.
Sorry, is my audio okay? Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Oh yeah, it sounds good.
Hello. Cool, thank you.
You're also in Spain, right? Kryptos Chain. You're based in Spain, is that right?
You mute yourself, I think.
Oh, you're muted. You're muted now.
Oh, I'm muted. Sorry. Yeah, I am in Spain. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm in Barcelona right now.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I've been there recently when I went to the Blockdown Croatia event. I had to take a connecting flight to Barcelona.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we can start recording now. I'm gonna just to let you know, Kryptos Chain, or I'm not sure if your real name.
Claudio's my name.
Okay. Audio?
Claudio.
Claudio. Okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna go over a couple different topics first, and then we'll start with a conversation with you, like maybe about halfway through the call. So, is that okay?
Sure. Yeah.
All right. Thanks. I'm gonna start recording now.
Recording in progress.
Okay, hey everybody. Welcome back to our governance call number 6 today. Hi from a co-working space here in Barcelona. Good to have everybody here. Today on the agenda, we're gonna have Kate, who's with us, our community manager, take us through some slides on governance, and actually ask for some of your input. So we're looking forward to that right first, and second we'll have Cassidy give us some general updates on some things that are coming up around the corner for the governance process. Thirdly, we're excited to have Kryptos Chain, a famous YouTube influencer and on Twitter as well, here with us to hear his input on governance. He's been pretty engaged with us so far. And last but not least, we're going to have our ambassadors give us an update on a new reward system we're going to have for those who are actually attending governance calls on a regular basis and engaging in the governance process. So, think POAPs and potentially NFTs. So Kate, do you wanna help us get it started?
Yeah, for sure. Hey everyone. Great to see you all here, and thanks for attending. So yeah, our topic for today is governance participation, and I'm curious to know who's been around in Web3 even before DeFi became the hot thing. Was anyone working in crypto in 2017 to the start of 2018? Romina, yeah, you can +1 in the chat if you were also around back then. Or
well, I got into crypto in 2017, but I didn't start my channel till early 2018. I think it was April.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Interesting. Because I think like back then, governance in late 2017, early 2018, governance was like the topic, right? Like the DAO hack had happened in 2016. Like everyone was like, but wait, the blockchain is the perfect tool for governance. That is the use case of blockchain. And it was like a lot of obsession about governance. And then of course we had DeFi came along and kind of has been even more strong, I guess, as a use case, but we're still needing to talk and focus a lot about governance. Every single protocol is thinking about how to have successful governance. It's really hard as well, actually. Like this is a thing that, you know, governance exists in the real world, mostly as we know it in political process, right? That's our way. For most people, that's how access to governance. Or in some corporate form, you know, you have corporate boards, but governance has been traditionally quite limited. And so in crypto, we've expanded that out and said, actually, we want everyone to help govern the protocol or govern the DAO. And we have many mechanisms that we use that for that. And I'll talk a little bit about that just to open up the call today. But yeah, I'm not sure who's like looking every day endlessly on crypto Twitter about governance like me, but I mean, there's just so many experiments happening all the time. The one I'm just really, really interested in right now is the Optimism DAO with the house, the citizens' house, and then the token holders' house. I think that's going to be a really interesting innovation. I'm just sharing my screen 1 second. Everyone see that? So yeah, but we still have a lot of challenges. And I think like we need to think really creatively and we need to experiment about governance. We still have problems of plutocracy, whales kind of dominating what passes and what doesn't. We have a big problem across, as far as I can see, all of Web3 with low engagement. Like I think this is the problem, that it's very hard to keep people that have got tokens across, you know, 10, 20, 30 projects involved in governance. They have some skin in the game, but perhaps they don't have enough. So these are some of the problems we have to grapple with as we think about governance. Amongst many others, you know, there's the big risk of attack, which I think Claudio jokingly showed us, and he's going to talk to us tonight about his attack and what that meant for Centrifuge. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, I think it's really important that we think about governance as more than just tokenomics and as more than just on-chain voting. Because I think sometimes what I've noticed in studying governance in DAOs for a few years now, and researching this, is that for some people it's only on-chain voting. That's what governance is. For some people it's only the tokenomics, you know, the design of the token, and then that's it. But there's also really important other parts of the process. So the on-chain discussion part, and that's where we're basically having an idea about something to do. It could be introducing POAPs as a motivation, or it could be, you know, discussion about a new runtime upgrade. We need to be able to discuss off-chain, have conversations, have calls like this. Actually, this is governance. We're currently governing to actually get to a good proposal. So by the time we get down to on-chain voting, that proposal is actually being improved. It's not just some raw idea someone had and then they put it up for a vote, and then somehow the DAO has, someone likes it, and now that's what exists. There's also other engagement incentives, and we'll talk about that today. And the whole time while you're participating or facilitating governance, you need to consider how to keep the users, keep the community engaged and informed about what's happening. And this is also part of the governance process. It's a big challenge, and I think, it's a focus for us at Centrifuge right now, is how do we ensure our users actually have the information to use the substrate governance UI and make the vote. How do they do all those things? How do they know what to vote on? That's also part of governance. So before I hand over to Cassidy to just mention a few of the more concrete initiatives that are coming up for us, I just want to talk about some methods or methods that exist out there for governance participation improvements. So across these 4 areas, we have a bit more detail, like, your tokenomics, you might want to increase the utility in order to improve the participation. You can use things like staking rewards, transaction fees, liquidity rewards, or airdrops. In off-chain governance and process, we need to continue to ensure that these processes are clear as we can make them, so that we're leading users through a nice journey. So they know, okay, now I'm getting the information. Now I need to do something with this information. Now I need to actually make my vote. And that obviously involves documentation and education and constant communication. We have engagement incentives. Learning programs are one very popular that many of you will have been through learning programs where you have to answer a set of questions about the DAO. I just did the optimism one. First step's really easy. But then there are some others, like Goldfinch, I think Ivan was saying, has like a 3-month university program. Like you have to do several hours a day to actually go through their learning program, which is really interesting. You can make improvements to on-chain voting. You can, with the Polkadot governance tool, you can do lockups to influence the vote outcome. Many groups across Web3 are experimenting with delegation, and that's also something that the Polkadot Council will do as well soon, I believe. And I'm quite keen to discuss whether this is a good idea, because I think councils actually, there's some criticism that councils are too centralized. It's just a small group of people with high context. They're making the decisions for the DAO. But I also think delegators or delegates have drawbacks as well, where you see across many protocols, sometimes the delegate is there as they're a technocrat. They don't really care, but they can get, they're incentivized to get this position and then keep it. And are they making the best decision? I don't know. So I'd love to have that debate. Do we go down stay with the council structure? Or do we move to delegates like many other projects? So that's my little overview to start us off on the call. Before I pass to you, Cassidy, does anyone want to comment or add something or question?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, that the Polkadot Council or governance process is going to effectively dissolve the council into like a fellowship. And I think it's just going to kind of, it's going to include more people, first of all, in the group beyond just 7 or 8 or 10 counselors. But yeah, it's going to distribute it amongst the larger group. And I think it's going to reduce the role of each counselor as well to kind of soften that power, so to speak.
Yeah. Good point. And I think like it's really good to be, in the Polkadot ecosystem, because we can learn from other projects and be like, okay, they're doing that. How is it working? What do we want to adopt the whole thing that they did, or should we just take part of it? Like it's the same with the need for an interface, right? Like or better UI. We can look at what other projects are doing. So I think we need to really take advantage of being in this ecosystem.
Yeah. And figure out which which aspects make sense for us. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Romina.
I think also beyond the Dotsama ecosystem, there are, I think, valuable learnings or observations that can be made. I think there are many advantages for council or delegates, but it always comes back to like a kind of small limited group making the decisions for the ecosystem. And I think it's we should put a lot of attention into it to find like the best system. So yeah, I think that was one of the big criticisms when Terra went down, that with the delegated proof of stake, it ended up like to this very concentrated power, right? So I don't have the answer yet, but I think it's very interesting. And thanks for the great introduction, Kate.
Yeah, definitely keen to get more into this discussion as a community, like what are the models that we like and we don't like. Did anyone else have a comment they wanted to make before I pass on? Cool. Thanks, everyone. Cassidy?
Cool. Thanks, Kate. So yeah, I'm just going to mention a few concrete things to watch out for in Centrifuge and Altair governance. So I'll just mention them right now, and then I'll drop them in the chat. So if you have questions, feel free to also drop them in the chat or ping in Discord with your questions or in the forum. Sort of in order of how you might see them, but could be a little bit off. You should look out for the implementation of the vote that passed to provide liquidity to an air pool on Karura. So that was voted for and passed, and it just needs to be technically implemented. So you can probably expect that, I would think, probably early next week. Then we've got the credit group coming with their treasury request on chain. So that will come after the next runtime upgrade is proposed and hopefully implemented on Centrifuge, which will add the treasury palette. So the credit group needs that treasury palette to actually make this request on chain. So once that actually goes through, then the credit group can make that request. So you've probably seen that on the forum. So then the next step on that process will be for that to go on chain for a vote. Then the next item is another implementation of a vote that passed to increase your the transaction fees on both Altair and Centrifuge. So first that will go to Altair, make sure that everything runs smoothly on Altair with a great incentivized chain that it is. From there, then implementing it on Centrifuge. You've probably been wondering about adding collators to both Altair and Centrifuge. Definitely apologize for the waiting time there to all the collators. The delay's just been due to continued work on this block time issue that we've been seeing on Altair that actually pretty much every Kusama chain has encountered, which I think was frustrating for a lot of Kusama ecosystem projects. But I think we'll have a fix for that shortly as a lot of projects have now figured that out. So once we've got that down, we can start adding the collators to both of those chains. And then big and exciting, launching pools. So that's that big move of Tin Lake from Ethereum over to Altair and Centrifuge chains. We're super excited about that. It's going to be, a launch in several parts, of course. So first, that's going to launch on Altair. It'll be a slow and controlled launch. So we expect to see one pool in the beginning on Altair with a few different assets being financed, but hopefully growing with a lot of community input on Altair from there. And then after seeing things go smoothly on Altair, that will be then launched on Centrifuge. Again, starting slowly, monitoring, watching to see that everything is going as intended. But really excited for that progress. And I think that's really a huge step for us, for the Centrifuge ecosystem in the right direction. And finally, you've probably seen the POAP process getting started. So I think just want to bring everyone's attention to, participating in that POAP process, following the applications that go up on the forum, asking questions on the forum, voting in the polls. Would definitely love to see a lot more participation there. And I think, I've heard that people are sort of nervous sometimes to participate, and they might not be sure that your question is actually valuable. But I think that it is. And, even if you think it's a dumb question or maybe not really necessary, I think we'd love to just see the community's participation in that process, getting into the comments, and really just participating and making this POAP process a really solid process as a whole. So that's just a general overview of all the different things to expect and what you can participate in Centrifuge governance. So again, I'll drop that list in the chat for everyone. I don't know, have you seen any important questions come up while I was talking?
No, I think the chat is about NFTs, which is cool, which is going to be at the end of the call. But yeah, any questions for Cassidy on the upcoming governance items?
Also, feel free to chime in if you think I missed something. Cool. All right, I will pass it along then. But yeah, don't hesitate to reach out on Discord or personally to me if you do have questions about that, or on the forum to any of the ambassadors or different members of Centrifuge teams lurking around. I guess, do I pass to you, Rob, for the next part?
Yeah, thanks, Cassidy. Thanks for the updates. Yeah, so there's no questions there. Claudia, are you still with us?
Yes, I am. Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, thanks for being here. So recently, you brought to our attention the importance of governance, participation in kind of an interesting way. Do you want to kind of describe what you did there and what the motivation was there?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. Yeah, so I just wanted to show what happens when not enough people vote, and I know that this doesn't only apply to Altair or to Centrifuge, but also to other power chains. It's just amazing that when you only have a small number of voters thinking that their type of vote is going to win, let's say in this case it was the yes vote. I just wanted to show that somebody with not so many tokens, if they use a multiplier to get the voting power up and lock their tokens for say a month or maybe even 3 months, depending on the duration, of course, and the quantity, can actually change that vote, even if you get 15 or 16 people voting. And it just shows you 15 or 16 people sometimes aren't enough. And I do think that you could get people to vote more if you incentivize them in some way. And I know there have been discussions in the Polka House, which I'm part of. And if you're not sure what Polka House is, it's a community built by Alex Hatum and a number of other people to help bring knowledge to the Polkadot ecosystem and also to help market it as well. They organize different events. They hold a lot of talks with different CEOs, co-founders from different power chains and other Polkadot projects that are building on Polkadot. And what they've been doing is they've been working on a solution for the Kusama proposals. And there are a number of people who have created NFTs, really cool ones actually, which is basically like a shelf. And on that shelf, you get objects. So every time you vote in a proposal, you get a new object added to your shelf. And so those actually have value, surprisingly or not, but they are on the Singular marketplace, if you're familiar with that, which Remark is like the biggest marketplace on Kusama right now. A lot of projects are building on that. And so I think if you could do something like that for Altair and Centrifuge, I think that would help. And yeah, that's the reason I did it. I just wanted to show that, look, and I actually did a video on that just to show, look, a troll has decided to vote against. Obviously, I didn't say in the video that it was me, but then I spoke with a few people, a few admins, and I told them, hey, it was me. Just to show that you can actually change the vote if you really want to. And this is why it's important to have people voting. It's kind of the same as in politics, isn't it? If you don't have your say, somebody else is going to have is going to take, let's say, are going to impose their own way of thinking on you, right? And that's how it is.
Yeah, no, that I think that was a really interesting way to bring it to people's attention, for sure. And yeah, we have seen and taken note of the singular NFTs that are being given out on Dotsama, and those are cool because like you mentioned, they're kind of their like Remark is all about composable NFTs, which means that you can combine NFTs within NFTs. So in this case, you have your shelf and you can put things on the shelf essentially, right? So yeah, I think it's a pretty good way to do things. I mean, do you think that we can also maybe emphasize some of the certain aspects of the on-chain voting process? So for example, like you said, with the multiplier, I mean, do you think that's what, like, we should maybe emphasize some of those things to the average user to kind of remind them that they, in theory, have more voting power than they think they do?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's very important as well. I don't think many people realize the importance of that, but you also have to keep in mind that maybe people knew about it, and if they did know about it, then they were concerned that they would be locking up their tokens for a long period of time. But I mean, if you plan to hold this token like Altair Air or Centrifuge CFG in this case, if you plan to hold it for say a year, maybe longer, in order to see what the team are doing, how they're progressing and stuff, I mean, there's no harm in locking it up for a month just to vote in favor of something, right? And to support the team. And so I think now with this bear market, I think it can be emphasized even more, because I don't think people are in a hurry to sell. The hype is kind of gone now. So I think you can focus more on building and trying to drive attention towards governance a lot more than before.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, bear markets are definitely a great time to build. That's for sure. And you know, like one way that I've been thinking about it, besides all the specific steps that we take to try to encourage engagement, is you know, as time goes on, it should feel more and more like a collective, like a collectively owned project. You know, where like it's not just like we're passively waiting for the team. I mean, obviously the devs and the team will always be responsible for certain aspects of the protocol, but I mean, to some extent, it'll be like a collective, and it's about how, you know, I'm curious to know what you think about how do we get people to feel like that, like they're actually active owners of the protocol rather than just passive holders.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, it's a tough one.
Philosophically, you know.
Yeah, I think it's a very tough one, and this is where incentivization will help. I mean, if you can create an NFT which is going to reward people who vote, I know you may be thinking in a way that, okay, maybe this isn't really worth it because people are going to be attracted to rewards, but it does actually work. I mean, if you could have an NFT which people are going to be incentivized to vote, they're going to say that, okay, look, we've got this NFT for voting in this proposal, and then on the next proposal in a month's time or whenever, we're going to get something added onto this NFT. So kind of something similar as with the shelf situation, except you could think of a different scenario of something else, maybe like a vehicle or something else, right? Any other asset you could think of, even a house maybe, right? Because at the end of the day, Centrifuge is all about real world assets. And so think of a home, and then you're building that home, and you've got like a bed, and you've got a kitchen, and you've got, you know, so that NFT is changing with each vote. So I don't know, maybe think of something like that, perhaps. I think that would be cool. Again, that would need to have some sort of value, because if people just hold a JPEG with no value, that's not going to incentivize people to vote either, right? And then it's about the simplicity. How simple is it to actually vote? I mean, do many people actually use the mobile version, or do they use the desktop version? And if they use the desktop one, how often are they using their laptop or desktop, right? Are they mostly on their mobile? Especially when they see the tweet from Centrifuge saying, look, we're opening up this proposal. Will they actually be going to their laptop to vote within those 7 days? That's the other question. So you got to find a way to simplify voting from the mobile. I think that's going to facilitate it, because as soon as they see the tweet, they can just go, okay, I'm checking I'm opening up my wallet now. I'm going to the Centrifuge live network, the power chain, and I'm just voting there. And I mean, if you're making it simple for people, then they should do it.
Yeah, ideally, I mean, you know, Subsquare is something that we're still considering using, and I think we probably will try them out in the very near future. They have a pretty simple interface, and yeah, I think making it like as much of a two-step process, you like open the app, click, vote, like, you know, as few steps as possible, obviously, to engage the average user, and even for the core community as well. So, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Anybody else have any questions here in the chat, or want to voice their opinion here now?
Yeah, I have just to weigh in a little bit as well, and I completely agree with the Kryptos Chain, Claudio, that there are two things. First, keeping things simple, making it easy for people to participate in voting. So the portal can be a little bit intimidating for a lot of people, even though it's straightforward once you learn it. But for newcomers that you want to engage in governance, it can be quite a mouthful. So that's one thing. Another thing he also mentions that is very important is the voting with conviction. I've been keeping an eye on a lot of our referendum votes, and it appears that most people only choose the 0.1 by default. And that's what the system chooses for you if you don't actively change it. Yeah. And what that means is that it doesn't lock up your tokens. They will be unlocked as soon as the referendum vote ends, but you're actually only voting with 10% of your tokens. So if you have 100 tokens, whether that being AIR or CFG, and you vote on a referendum, if you don't actively change it, you're actually only going to vote with 10 CFG. But your tokens will then be unlocked as soon as the referendum vote ends. But if you change it to 1x, so the next one, they will be locked for one enactment period, which corresponds to 8 days, but you'll be voting with your full amount of tokens. So I think that's something important to keep in mind for a lot of at least new people who want to vote, that at least change it to the 1x, because that way you will vote with your full amount, and they will only be locked for 8 days. So after the referendum vote passes, 8 days after, they're fully unlocked again. Well, you have to do it manually, but they will be available for transfer. And if you really are a long-term holder, like Claudio also mentions, then we can pick 2x, 3x, 4x, depending on how long you're willing to lock up these tokens. But it's definitely a powerful tool, and I think it's something people should be more aware of when they are voting in referendum, because participating in governance is, I mean, as Kate mentioned, there's off-chain and there's on-chain. And the on-chain is the easy part to participate in, because it's just going in and voting with your tokens. It's something anyone can do. And as Claudio beautifully showed it, is something everyone should do. So that is definitely something that I want to encourage people to try to understand a little bit better, this conviction voting. It's a very powerful tool and should be used.
No, I was sorry. I was actually laughing at the comments there from some of the admins.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree with Rhano. I mean, that's how it should be. It's just a matter of getting people to use bigger voting power, not using the default. But I think in order for that to work, you need to discuss with Parity, don't you? Because it's a Polkadot web wallet change. It's a UI change.
Yeah, I mean, with Square, for example, I mean, they did mention that there's a certain level of customizability. So, I mean, maybe we could even have, have it customized in such a way where it's just dead simple, like as simple as possible. You with the option to save the regular settings you like let's say you usually want to do 1x or you usually want to do 2x, or just to kind of reduce the process to as few steps as possible. I mean, obviously there's a limit to that, but just, like I said, like as close to a 2-step process as possible. Just opening up the app and boom.
How can we mean this? Can we have hey, let's 10x that? Listen to me somehow and get people locking up or convicting.
Yeah, that's true. That's pretty memeable, actually. 10x your vote. Hey, Yvonne, were you trying to say something? I think I cut you off there. No? Okay.
Jeff has his hand up.
Oh yes. So I totally agree. Actually, I made the mistake at the beginning. I didn't know there's a conviction. And that's a kind of new concept in Polkadot, right? In Polkadot ecosystem. And I do like it. It's very novel. Like you can vote even the small like token holder. They can have more power if they are non-term holder. So we try to encourage people to join and hold the token in non-term. And there's another thing I would like to mention actually. So here you can check the conviction, and you can also check the days like you are going to knock your token. On top of that, I'm not quite sure, but I have heard if you want to stake, so for example, like if they are kind of non-term holder, they stake the CFG, and for the staking token, we can also vote. So just like me, if I want to stake my CFG for 1 year, then I can just stake that and use that token to vote. I can maximize the power because anyhow I'm going to stake it for 1 year, right? So why not lose the power to vote? So and also it makes sense. Like if I want to stake 1 year, I'm kind of non-term holder, and the things like the power I have for the governance is probably higher than someone who just jump in and who just want to get the token for maybe 1 or 2 days. If they vote right, they probably should use a 0.1 conviction. So that's just something like I would like to mention.
By the way, I do have a question now that we're on that topic. How did you manage to beat my no vote so quickly? Because I saw that like as soon as I've done it, like it immediately got beaten, like within, I don't know, 10 minutes or 15 minutes or so. So it was obvious that somebody mentioned something to a few people.
Oh, you mean how I heard that?
Yeah. I mean, a few people joined in because there were on like 14 votes or so, I think, when I did it. And then all of a sudden there were like 18 or more. And so some people must have watched that or seen it.
Yeah, we noticed that right away. We noticed the no vote, and we were like, no, what's happening here? I mean, soon we realized, we realized that it was, like kind of like a stunt, just to put attention on voting, which is cool. But yeah, of course we wanted it to pass, so we rallied some votes in the Discord and got it to pass. Or got it into like a passing mode.
That explains it. But that actually happened to Kala as well. Kala or Karura, I think it was Karura, and it failed on the very first time, and they had to wait a week before they could put in a new proposal.
Did you do that, or was it somebody else?
No, it wasn't me. No, but I actually got an idea from it because I thought, look, I can actually I don't even have that many tokens, and I can do this. So imagine those people that did it to Karura, like they were obviously like working in a group and said, let's all work together and go against it just to troll them. And it was for enabling token transfers, if I remember correctly. So I don't know, it wouldn't make any sense why they would do that, but yeah, just a bad joke, I guess.
Yeah, that's odd.
I mean, it's important to also know that once you have voted in a referendum, you can always change your vote. That means you can both change from aye to nay and from nay to aye, plus your conviction as well. So it's not like when you are voting that your vote is locked on that. As long as the referendum vote is ongoing, you can change your vote. So, and there are always a couple of us who keep an eye on these referendums to follow the progress of it. So we saw the nay votes from you pretty quickly once it happened. So yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
It was Christian actually who suspected me. I think it was Christian or Imdio. One of them who suspected me was like, was it you, Claudio, who did that? And then I said, yeah, it was me.
I think
it was in the unofficial group on Telegram.
Unofficially, I insinuated that it could be you. I tried to write it in a subtle way, but then you admitted it yourself. But yeah, it was. I know it's a friendly troll, is what we call it, I guess. So yeah, it made a good point, and yeah, an important one that people should participate to avoid these things and using the conviction voting to optimize their votes.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you guys know as well, but liquid staking is becoming a pretty big thing now. Does anyone happen to know if while using liquid staking, Like for example, with the Kala, can you still vote with the Kala tokens if you're doing liquid staking?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
But that's a whole different bag of worms there. So
Robert, I don't know if you can see the chat on your phone. We have a question.
Yeah, I can see. Let me just check it here. Sorry, it's a little bit hard to see.
I'll just ask Leo. Leo, do you want to ask that question and expand on the question you've asked?
Yeah, I see the question now.
I'm just seeing if Leo maybe wants to. If you feel like speaking, Leo, feel free. No mic. Okay, so yeah, is protocol revenue sharing towards people who locked their CFG for governance a possibility or not? And Cassidy, do you want to just expand on the answer you gave?
Hey, yeah, I was just writing in the chat. But yeah, Leo, sorry if it's been a while since you got a response, if you're the last commenter on that. I think just given all of the other things in the governance pipeline, it hasn't had direct responses lately, but very much still in progress. I think that discussion is ongoing. I think I'd like to clean up the discussion a little bit more and separate that proposal into two different parts, because we had two different elements. One was the staking and the other part was the fees, which I kind of alluded to in the chat here. As like one of those is rewarding the stake CFG, the CFG that's staked towards pools. And then that reward, where it's coming from, is from the on-chain treasury. And that's funded through transaction fees. And so then part of that proposal was introducing fees like for using Centrifuge, not just like fees for collators for executing that transaction. So I think next step will be to separate that discussion so it can be a little bit more clear, so that people can participate a bit easier on both of those different proposals. But yeah, in short, still ongoing, that discussion.
Thanks, Cassidy. So he's following up here with another question.
I guess in theory there would be a way, but I think the point of this proposal is actually to include CFG as that incentive mechanism there. And I think it's all part of like this being part of the CFG ecosystem. And so CFG being the native token of that ecosystem, I think makes more sense, but we can continue that conversation and discussion as well.
Sorry, Cassidy, can I ask a question on, now that you're here, not related to governance, regarding Altair?
I guess, well, as long as it's not too far off topic.
Yeah, it's in relation to staking. So will there be staking for Altair? Are you considering that? Have you discussed it with the team, or is that going to be disregarded?
No, I think pretty much everything that's proposed for Centrifuge is something that I think we'd also want to propose for Altair. I mean, seeing Altair as that first step to anything that goes live on Centrifuge, right? So I think the idea with this would be to also propose that to the Altair ecosystem. I think given that Altair needs to grow a little bit more, this was proposed first for Centrifuge because there are already pools on Centrifuge and there's more of an ecosystem there. But I think probably this would be proposed for Altair as well, and would most likely launch on Altair first.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, one other point, just because some community members asked me about this, and I thought this is the right time to ask the second question. It's in relation to KuCoin. I'm sure you're aware that KuCoin have supported the Altair crowd loan back when it happened, and unfortunately, they still didn't distribute the ER tokens to the people that contributed through KuCoin. Did you get a chance to discuss with them to see when they can do that?
They have not given any information to us. I don't know if users have reached out directly. but it is something that I'm happy to try to put some pressure on. But I do think the most pressure will come from the KuCoin users and the community, unfortunately. But yeah, they haven't given us any information there.
Yeah, I mean, on their Telegram group, I don't know how they are on Discord, but on Telegram, it's mostly bots, and it doesn't look very professional, because like even the admins will just tell you, yeah, we're gonna talk to the team, but then they never do, right? They never get back to you because they just get so much spam. They have to actually spend more time removing bots than actually answering questions, so it's a bit of a disaster. I think if there was a way for you to get in touch, maybe directly with a team member at KuCoin, it would definitely help.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I'm happy to reach out to them.
Community would appreciate it, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think I can ping them just because I have talked to some of them before. Yeah, and it's unfortunate to hear that they're not handling very well.
All right. Yeah. Well, thanks, Cassidy, for the updates. And yeah, those things are out of our control, but we can try our best to try to pressure them to get that sorted. So I think now we can move on to Jeff.
Yeah.
And our beloved Jeff, Dr. Cal.
Yeah, Dr. Cal. Yeah, either way.
And he will be happy to announce some of the details of the POAP and maybe secret NFT program that we have planned for those who are attending our governance calls and engaged.
Right. Yeah. Thank you. So may I share the screen as well? Okay. Are you able to see that?
Yeah. Let's
good. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. It's good. So. First of all, thank you. I'm very glad to have the opportunity to actually talk about the POAP and the NFT in the Centrifuge. So maybe a lot of you already know that and come and join the support this proposal. So this is my first one. Like I proposed in the forum, and I'm kind of new to the forum as well, and I'm super excited. I see lot of votes, more than what I expected. I was thinking like a target on 20, but we end up with almost 60. And so this proposal, we try to incentivize like those participations, because those governance, I think it's very, very cool idea in Web3, like it's all decentralized, but also there's the issue, like people, they are busy, why they spend hours and hours in the governance, why they need to participate, right? So we want to reward them. We want to give them something. And this POAP and NFT, they are not just NFT, like you can think about, okay, I can use NFT or I can sell them. But in my mind, I think it's also a kind of community, like a proof, like showing, for example, you hold this POAP, participate in the governance, and there will be some utilities in the future, like, okay, since you participate, you attend the call, maybe you have more power, for example. It's kind of a new like conviction we have. So we don't use a knock. If we don't knock the token, we can knock the NFT, for example, right? So they can just use the NFT and then vote. And so I think this is very cool idea, and I do get a lot of cool like questions from the community, and I would like to have this opportunity and maybe have discussion with all of you if you have any ideas. Some of the questions like I can answer, and I believe the team already answered that, like about how to participate. So some of you are new to the governance, to the forum, and don't know even like how to vote, and you probably know the Discord, you can have a poll. This forum poll is similar to that, but it's a little bit different. You don't need to connect to your wallet for this vote. You just need to connect to your, I think you can log in with your Discord. And so I did that. And so that's the first thing. So I think I can just answer. If you have any question or comments, feel free to ask, okay? There will be some other question maybe we should discuss. So like this one, I think it's very interesting. So PG 1989. So I'm 2 years older than you. Hopefully you are here. I don't know. If you are here, you can just speak. So you said the POAP is a good way, and you asked about the future utility plan for the NFTs. So the team, we already have the team replied about Altair, the pool that you can deposit the NFT for financing. I'm not sure like about the POP, whether we can transfer that to Altair, but I do know like if you want to transfer, you need to migrate to the Ethereum main chain. You need to pay a little bit gas fee, a little bit depends on the traffic. And then you can list that in like OpenSea or those kind of a website. It could be possible to make that into Altair pool. So any comments on that, or any, if PG 1989, if you are here, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I'm here.
Peter, okay.
No, that seems pretty clear. Just an interesting concept. I hadn't heard of too many other projects doing something similar, so was just a bit curious. I'd seen some of the other NFTs, their mark NFTs, for instance, had different utilities. So again, it sounds like there's a lot of opportunities, but obviously serious thought would need to go into those. But yeah, pretty cool concept.
Nice. Thank you, Peter. Any other comments? Oh, Peter, you are ambassador. Okay. Okay, great. Just see the message. Okay, awesome. Yeah, Remark would be very cool NFT. Okay, any other thing for that? Like any other utility, possible utility from the audience? Maybe some of you have a better idea or cool ideas. No? Yeah, okay, it's fine. Let's move on. So, Mr. White. So Mr. White have a very good idea actually. He said, like, can we have a contest for artwork to improve on those NFT? It could be easily be done like on Twitter, or like you can vote for the top 5. So I will give my comments first, and then I will open up for any additional comments. So I do think this is a very cool idea, you know, like with the NFT, right? Those are just images, pictures itself, but it has a lot of utilities, and those images, if we have a lot of artists in the group, I'm not sure whether we have a lot of artists here. If we have, or even you are not artist, you can just create some cool images. I talked to the designer in Centrifuge actually. We talk about the cool idea, for example, for the POAP. The image we have, right? There could be a place we can add some additional icons, for example. So let's say like, okay, this is June, and you can use June, like if Centrifuge, we have a special pool open in June, or maybe a special things like a very important things like for Centrifuge. And then we can use that as a topic, and others can just draw some picture, and then like we can organize a competition, and people can vote on Twitter, they can vote on Discord. I know how to do that on Discord already, but you know, like we can all encourage people to come and join, and then they can make this kind of artwork. Those artwork, you can use that, like if you get selected, like top 5, maybe the best one, right? The one like all the whole community, like everyone likes that that icon or that image, we can add it to the POAP in the next call, and then you will come back and claim that when you participate in the governance or community call. So I think this would be a very good way, like we will get the involvement, right, from the community, and also we will integrate that into the POAP NFT. It's kind of the work we are working together, like as a whole community, right? Work together and make it, and it's actually a good memory, not just NFT itself, you know. It's actually a good memory if I make something, right? If I make something and then Centrifuge, they put it there, they make it a POAP NFT, and I claim that, I can show that to my friends, to my family. Okay, I have been there, I make this one. So I think this is a very, very cool idea, like at least for myself. And so I would like to open up any other comments on that. Like, do you think we can have enough artists, or are you interested in this contest? And any ideas or comments?
I think that's something we can definitely. I mean, it's totally naturally suited towards maybe experimenting with this idea on Altair at some point. You know, because there's already. I mean, we're already going to try to build out the amount of artists that are on there, and this could bring extra attention there too. I know we have some competitions planned coming up for Altair, but that's a little bit different. But I mean, we could maybe even find a way to integrate that with this idea, like combine the two.
Nice. So we can maybe like start a competition, something like that, right? For the whole community with some topic, maybe.
We're gonna do some a thing called the NFT. I think it was like the NFT playground competition.
Oh, nice.
And maybe we could offer some incentives there for those artists who want to create one for governance, and then also those who are participating in governance. We can, kind of add a governance angle to that idea that already was there. So.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that would be very cool, actually. So it's kind of a merge with that computation. Okay, awesome. And so another one is from Mr. White again. So I think this one is about like use NFT and the POAP and then get the CFG. I checked the comments from the team. We don't quite like that idea. I'm sorry, Mr. White, if you're here. And so for this one, like the concern we have is if someone like they just come and they just show up, they just show up to get the token. We may not have interaction. So probably it's more like just like attend and get the POAP, right? We want more like interaction. We want more involvement from the user. So any comments on that, on this one? If Mr. White, if you are here, you can also say something. No? Okay, I guess then we can move on with the next one. So next one would be the Marcus. So he's the one like didn't think the POAP will increase the attendance. So if you are here, feel free to elaborate your idea. I think you are here, right? So this is one like I don't know. We have to see that actually. So like today, how many? It's probably like 30, 40, right? Participants. Is that a normal? I'm not sure whether this POP can increase, but we probably can do some stats like in the future when we have the POAP. If the participants, it's like more people participate, that means the POAP maybe is useful. And so Marcus, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I'm here. Thank you so much.
Great.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Okay, sweet. Yeah, I mean, obviously I got pretty active in that conversation regarding how do we increase participation in governance. I think the biggest point for me was time. A lot of us, I think, are stretched for time across the various things that we're doing in our lives. And the more projects, especially in the crypto space that we get involved with, it seems as though each of them is requiring a significant amount of more time to participate in a meaningful way. And so it is a tough conundrum to say, how do we encourage individuals involved with our project to commit a certain amount of time to our project in a meaningful way? I do like the POAP idea. I have earned some POAPs from other projects like ETH2 and some other ones by participating in some of their meetings and whatnot. But to be honest, like, it's cool. I've got some POAPs. They're sitting in a wallet somewhere. I don't really do anything with them. They don't have much utility other than to say, yeah, I attended some meetings, which I guess is cool in one way. But to expand upon it, let me share another example with you in the analog world. So on my bookshelf across from me, I have a folder, if you will, that has a bunch of concert tickets that I have kept over the years from attending various concerts. I just thought it would always be neat to remember what concerts I attended and where I attended them and whatnot. Very cool, right? I think it's neat. But to be honest, like, I never pull it off. I'll put tickets in there, but I never really pull it off to remember. Maybe when I'm old and sitting around doing nothing, I might do that. But I guess it was just kind of a related point to say, I got a POAP, aka a ticket from the concert I went to, but it really just sits on the bookshelf and collects dust. I do like the idea of, POAPs having utility value. There could be something there where, hey, if you attend a certain number of governance meetings, you get a certain number of POAPs. There's something there, but I don't want to talk too long, but I really think just the challenge is time. You've just got to find a way to encourage people to commit a certain amount of the time, in their 24-hour pie to participating. So that's my thoughts. I will say this, which I mentioned in the posts. There is a service called Proxy Vote in the United States. I'm not sure if it's international, but it provides a very easy way for individuals who are invested in public companies to participate in board meeting votes or shareholder votes. It's very quick. It's very easy. It comes into your email. Literally within 3 clicks, you have participated and you're out, back to doing whatever you were doing beforehand. If we can find a way to allow for participation in that manner, I think that this project, and I honestly think a lot of projects that are requiring people to participate, would see an increased participation percentage. I don't know what that is. I don't know how to do that, but I think that project alone would probably find a lot of legs across the crypto space in a way. So anyway, I'll leave it there.
That's great feedback, and that's something that's on everyone's mind. I think how to manage that issue of time. Not even people spread across several dozen projects, but even those who are invested in a few. They have a lot of everyday life things to do. Regular jobs, of course, and so forth. So, I think that's definitely a goal, is to, like I was saying earlier, just to make it as much of a 2-step process as possible. I know that the Polkadot.js substrate framework is pretty robust, and that's excuse me. There's a reason for that. It's to give a lot of flexibility and optionality and equality to the voting process, but. Yeah, if we want to really get people participating more actively, one way is making it fun, obviously, with POAPs and NFTs, but another is to at least give them the option, in this process of just click and it's done. So, yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah, I also agree with that. I think the POAP, the NFT, we just start that. I don't think it's just POAP itself. It's more about the utilities, how we are going to use that. Just like the idea of governance, right? If you use a POAP NFT, because the POAP, I know I'm able to get the address who hold the POAP NFT, and then from that address, we can give them power for the voting. We can even give them power, for example, future staking. For example, if you stake, right, you hold the NFT, maybe you can get more tokens, something like that. This would be the future vote. I think we should discuss. But the key is the POAP would be the starting point, and in the future we're going to add more utilities to the POAP, and then all of us can share the idea how we can encourage more attendance use the POAP. like people would like to spend some time and participate. So I do appreciate. Thank you, Matthew. So that's a very good comment. I do like that. It's very much detailed, but I like that very much. So thank you. So I think oh yeah, go ahead.
Yes, yeah, I just wanted to say, yeah, I think we should wrap up pretty soon. So if you
oh yeah, sorry about that.
Oh no, it's been great, but maybe we can just quickly cover what the next steps would be
Yeah, exactly. Sorry about that.
Get the POAP. No, it's been awesome.
Okay, so it's just a fun part now. We just have the POAP claiming. So this time, like I will send this to the chat, so all of you can go to this link. There's a Google form. So this is how we're going to claim that for this time. So you just need to go to the form. I'm going to open that form and show you. So go to the form. We're going to connect few information. It's about like the first one is your Discord handle, because that's probably how I'm going to send you the code later on. So I'm going to send you the code to claim the POAP. So if you have questions, you have feel free to check the Centrifuge Discord. The link is here. Go to the general channel and ask it there. We also want your forum username, but if you use your Discord, it should be the same as your Discord username, I think. And some more feedback, this is optional. If you do, I would really appreciate it. That would be great. And then about the NFT. So we also have the NFT. So it's on the OpenSea. It's very cool. Everyone wants that that NFT. We have some criteria. So to get the NFT, like every month you're going to have the opportunity. Maybe one user every month we get one NFT. We want to reward the most valuable user. So that means those who are active in the Discord, in Telegram, participate in the governance voting, be here, right? Show up in the course. Maybe like enough POAP NFT, something like that. So those are just maybe this would be a good one actually for the Matthew, like the utility of that POAP. Maybe one of that would be use that and you can get the real NFT on the OpenSea, and that one is really valuable, and that I believe everyone like that. It has the value, you can buy that. So we can also check the activity on the forum. So if you go there, you can search your name and check your own like activity. And so I think that's all. Sorry about the time. I hope I'm gonna stop share now.
Yeah, no, it was super fun. Thanks, Jeff. Yeah.
Great.
I think everyone's excited about this program, so it's really awesome that you drove this and put it together. Yeah.
Nice. Thank you.
Thank you for inviting me, guys. I appreciate it. It was fun.
Yeah, it was really fun. Hope to have you back on in the future, and let's keep everybody engaged.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of your day.